All right, guys, so here we go. So, yes, Tristan, you're correct. It went to the origin. See it here? Okay? So, one thing you can do, so it actually like untwisted that surface. Now, and so look, we can do these one by one. So I'm going to move this over to the left. And I'm going to work back and forth between this and that. I'm going to type unroll. Okay. So it's going to put this one here. Now it should be able to start to piece these together. Not quite, right? I should be able to. Well, if those will actually, they may fit together. Let's see. They should. Right, so I can rotate this. No, not quite. Because why? Because those curves won't be exactly, they will match once you twist them into place, right? But they're different when they're unrolled. But once you twist it, it's actually bending the curve also. So flattened, they're not going to completely line up. So you'll probably just need to cut these separately. You can't make a dash line and fold. There are ways of doing that. There are some complex 3D modeling systems you can use to actually fold along a curve. But I don't think we need to get into that right now. No, this is the easy way. This is not that hard, actually. I mean, but here's a slightly easier way. So we could take this, select all of them. And Barbara, how long does it take to do 2? So we can keep doing them and putting them together. We can also type unroll. We can type explode. Currently it says yes. Let's take no. And see this labels command? It says no. Let's click yes. And I click enter. It's thinking. It didn't do it. All right, look, maybe I have to do this one at a time, but I want to show you this. This is important because you'll need to know which edge, if you flip this, it's not going to fit together correctly, right? So it's a good idea to turn on the labels, right? If you look here, I would assume that I just laid this down flat and that this left edge is 0 and this is 3. If you look over here, it's rolled it over. It's flipped it, right? So I know that I might need to mirror this, right? So that it's like this. So this is an important step if you do something like this. So let's unroll it again.
Maybe that's why they weren't piecing together.
What?
Maybe that's why they weren't piecing together, because you have to mirror them all.
They still won't fit together, but yes, you need to do it. So look at, again, so the 0 is up here, the 3 is always to the right. So I'm going to move this. Right, so I want to mirror it again. And just check my curves, my labels, make sure everything is correct. Okay? Yes? All right, have it your way. Let's do that. So let's join all these back. Okay, ready? Unroll surface. Explode no, so we'll try to keep it together. There you go. But let's look at this. You see, this is not exactly what we want because you see surfaces are overlapping. See, so number 16 is overlapping. It's going to be hard to laser cut that. So we don't really want them to do that. So the other option is to do this. Let's unroll it again. So you have to play with the settings. So let's try to explode it. We're going to explode it, but keep the labels. Okay? And it puts them all out here together. I think this is from earlier. Okay? So there, it lays them all out. You could move these closer together. And then when you go, what you might want to do is like, everybody listen. What you might want to do is engrave these labels on your part. So in AutoCAD, just go write the numbers on the edges so that you can look at your Rhino model and say this is edge 25. And then it's like building a model airplane or something. All right? Does that make sense?
That way it's not twisted.
They're not twisted. They're unrolled. Yes?
Like if I laser cut it, I'll be able to glue everything together without twisting it.
You'll have to twist it.
I'll have to twist it. And why this one is twisted? The first one we did is not.
What's that? Why is this one twisted? Because Deborah likes to complicate things. She wants to twist things.
No, we don't have that.
I like to twist things.
Do they have to be like the same kind of from the front and the back? Or because she did it like one side is different from the other?
What do you mean?
Like in the loft. In the loft, one face was different from the other face.
One face.
The spikes. Should they be different or the same?
They're not supposed to be the same. In mine, they're not the same. Again, guys, remember, what do we tell you with your labyrinths? Anytime you go into 3D, don't just extrude to get to 3D. So we don't want, like, if you just loft the same curve, you don't need the other curve. You're just extruding one curve. So the nice thing about loft is you can take two completely different curves, and it's called interpolation. You're modeling by filling in the differences between those two curves, and it gives you a more complex set of shapes and forms that you can experiment with. And that's what 3D modeling should be used for. Tristan? Just select yes when you go to unroll. Watch. Unroll. Explode, yes. Labels, yes. If I click that, it turns to no. Okay? Key properties, I think you probably want that to be yes. Okay? Well, something to keep in mind when you're doing this. Be careful because sometimes I didn't have key properties selected. Sometimes it will slightly change the scale of these things when it's unrolling them. So you may want to go back in and just measure one edge. Probably the ends are not twisted, and make sure that the ends are the same scale. Yeah, just to make sure. Otherwise, if they're sized differently, they might not fit together. Okay, so everybody got unroll? Now, I'll tell you this. There are certain things like this. There are certain shapes, such as, let's make a dome. So say I'm a Renaissance architect. Okay, I want to build a dome. So I can't 3D rotate this flat. So I want to unroll it, right? You can't unroll a dome. I'm going to unroll this dome. What's it going to tell me? Unrolling doubly curved surfaces will produce inaccurate results. It's not going to do it. What if we still want to do it? No. Yes. No. That will produce accurate results. If we still want to do it, there's a command in Rhino called smash. And smash is what you think of when a car rolls over a frog. It flattens it with a lot of distortions. Okay? Watch. Enter. So let's not explode it. Yeah, let's explode it. Labels, yes. Okay, enter. Now let's go look at the origin. All right, I think you guys know, that can't possibly. So if we keep this edge flat or straight and we roll that up, we're going to get a pointed cone. But if we curve it and curve it, which is hard to do with a piece of chipboard, also to curve chipboard and as a doubly curved surface, like try to take a single sheet of chipboard and form it into a dome. It's going to be hard. Okay? All right, so does everyone basically have an overview of, how to do these things? Try to 3D rotate things flat. Then you know they're flat. You're checking. You can use the unroll command for twisted surfaces, but just verify the edge length. And just to show one more time what we mean by that, be sure you're doing this, everyone. Right? So if I unrolled this, everybody look up here. If I unrolled this, I want to come over here and measure by typing distance. Guys, stop talking and listen for a second. Watch. Did you see what I just did? I measured this. It's 3/4 of an inch. So now I want to go over to that first piece. And I'm going to type distance, and I want to make sure that that's 3/4 of an inch. It's not. So the top is even bigger. But over here, interestingly, I suspect that piece, what was it numbered? Oh, was it the one I deleted? Let's do it again. Oh, we've got also too many sets of numbers. All right, I'm going to delete those labels. Delete this again. Okay, I'm going to select this and type unroll. Explode, yes. Labels, yes. Okay, so if I zoom in here. So this is number 27. So where's 27? Down here. So it's put it way out of order. Does everybody see that? So this piece over here is 27. Is now somehow over here. Anyway, we know it's 3/4 of an inch. Okay, it maintained the scale at least. So I may want to come here and move these things around or reorder them. 23 should be next. I don't know why it's done that. Who knows? Number 20 should be next. And then number... What? Barbara, when does the model due? A week from today. Not next Monday, guys. It's on the assignment I just showed you. The booklet is due Wednesday. All right, everybody got this? I'll go over that at the end. Don't worry, guys. Stay on target. Here we go. All right, so everybody feels they could do that? Barbara, you got this? Yeah, everybody? Good, you could do that? Deborah? All right, so here's what we need to do next. I want to show you how to do the requirement for the 3D drawings. Okay, this is going to be useful in Studio. Let me save. If we look at the assignment, page 2, on the second page you should position the camera angle in exactly the same position for 2 separate views. Well, it should say for 2 separate drawings because it's the same view. View 1, you're just going to show the frame with the skin. The skin should be dashed with the frame and solid lines. Okay, here, let's do this one. All right, so what I'm going to show you real quick is how to save a view. So, choose like a dramatic, maybe since these are twisting, we want to look down the length of it. Watch. Here we go. I like this view. So I'm going to click on perspective, and I'm going to go to set view. So if I click any of these, it's going to move the camera. Basically, we're looking at this through a camera. We're going to go to named views, and then we're going to click save. And I'm going to call this frame and skin view 01. Okay, now look, frame and skin view 1. So if I come here and I say, let's go look at the bottom of this thing, and I want to quickly go back to it, I go set view, and I click frame and skin view 1. It takes me back there. Now watch, say that I move it. I'm still in frame and skin view 1. But unless I go resave it, I can always go back and type set view, frame and skin view 1. It takes me back there, right? It saves that view. So it saves the location of the camera. So what I want to do first, like if I take this model now, and I want to do a make 2D, a few things I want to do. I want to get rid of all the curves, so I'm going to select the surfaces and hide them one at a time. And now I'm just going to delete all these curves. I don't need them anymore. And then I'm going to turn the surfaces back on. Okay? So now I'm going to go dimension, make 2D, select objects, just select all of these, and type enter, show hidden lines. Let's just do it 3 ways. Let's select OK. Now on the viewport, sorry, at the origin, I should have this view. All right, and you'll see that it's given me solid lines and white lines. So this, the black lines are solid, and if I look at the layers, it should say make 2D. Here are the visible lines. Watch, visible and hidden. So the hidden lines could be dashed. I like to change the color, like we would do it in AutoCAD. Okay, does everybody see that? So, but there's, so that's one way to do it. So now, here you'll see that the ribs are solid, right? The outline of the ribs are solid, but also the outline of the skin is in front, so it's overlapping, and you're seeing some of these things behind some of these things. If I want to take control of that, and let me try to make these. We can also go to hidden lines and go to select objects. Now we can go to properties and make those like dashed. Right? So you see the hidden lines are dashed. So this is how we would normally do a hidden line drawing. Everybody, we have 15 minutes left. Pay attention. Here we go. So what I want to do, probably the easiest way to do this would be to make layers. Okay, so I'm going to make a new layer called skin, and then I'm going to make a new layer called frame. All right, so I'm going to put the skin on the skin layer. And now I can turn that layer off. Right, so I can turn off the skin. Now I can put all these on the frame layer. I can turn that off. So I can turn them on individually and off individually. So the first thing I want to do is just do a make 2D of the skin. Right, so I'm going to turn off the frame. I'm in the same viewport. Now I'm going to select it and say dimension, make 2D drawing. And why don't we just turn off the hidden lines, for instance. All right, so in the top viewport, you'll see here we have this. Right? And now we're going to come in here, do the same view. We're going to turn the frame off, turn the frame on and turn the skin off and select it. and say dimension, make 2D drawing. Okay, I want to group these lines because they're not grouped, and it's going to be hard to select them later. So I'm going to group them, and I'm going to move these over. So like if you wanted to make an exploded axon or something, this is a useful way to do that. Okay, and if I change the color of this, right, now I can just take this. Everybody see that? It will fit. So the assignment asks you to sort of reverse this relationship, right? So the other way to do that is to make this one cyan and this one red, and maybe also to make this one dashed. This one dashed. Okay, those are the two drawings that you need to do for 3D. Make sense? Yeah? So if we put those together, okay?
Do you want them exploded or you want them?
No, like this. So just reverse that relationship, okay? And again, these are just intended to get you guys to poke around with the settings and familiarize yourself with different ways of doing things. So the last thing I want to show you is, I believe the assignment sheet says the skin should have a series of curves projected onto it, which are scored in the final model. So the other, I want to show you that real quick. The other thing you can do is, like in your labyrinth, you could cut out shapes if you want. But again, use it as a good sketch exercise. I would just come over here and we'll do it two ways. We'll do it here and here. Right, so the first way to do this is to come look at the triangulated one. And then let's select this control point curve up at the top. I'm just going to make some squiggles. This looks like a good Sejima building, yeah? Okay. I'm going to make this red. And I'm going to project these onto that surface. Look, that's taking it a little time. You can imagine that's a slightly complex calculation for the computer to make. So it's weird. It's like curved in plan, but then pointy in section. It's kind of nice. All right. So anyway, if we want to do that, okay, now we want to flatten this and laser cut it, right? So the way to do this would be to explode that. Right, and so we can select it all. And now we can do rotate 3D. So this is the manual way to do it. Like, you all will be very good at just 3D rotating things flat by the end of the semester. Right? Now I can come back here. You see the curves are still joined, so I'm going to explode them. I think I'd group them. Make sure you ungroup also. Yeah? So now I can select just these. You need to get all the surfaces. It's a little more work. All right, once they're all selected like this, I should have it. It will take more time just to do that, but go through the effort to do that. Are you leaving? Okay. Now I should be able to hold control and just deselect, which will be a lot faster than reselecting everything. So just deselect the curves that you don't want to rotate any further. Okay. And now let's click enter again. This is our rotation axis. Okay? So on and so forth. Look, I missed some. Okay? It's too bad I missed some. But you see, unfolded, they start to look the way that we had originally looked. And they're going to look different than the initial one because we projected it there, and by unfolding, it's going to stretch those curves. So go through the process of doing that. The other way to do it is on the one that we unrolled. Almost done, guys. Sit tight. Okay, so this goes here. Let's project this onto this one. This is Deborah's, remember? It's twisted. All right, so let's move our viewport over to the origin, which is where it's going to put this when we unroll it. Okay, we'll hide this. All right, so here we go. I guess we'll just group this all together. Let's join it, and then group it. Group. All right, so that's all grouped. So now let's try to unroll. Explode, yes. Label, yes. Key properties, yes. See the curves? They're on the surface. That's a useful thing to do. And you can unroll the one that we manually unfolded. You can also unroll that. So use this as maybe a sort of expeditious process, but please go in, make sure these things are in order, and test them. The advantage of something like this also is that I know this piece can't possibly fit next to this one, because that curve is going to have to, blend into some other curve. Most likely, let's see, 17 goes next to 16. What? Oh, it's mirrored. That's weird. Yeah. So 16. Ungroup these. All right, so this needs to go over here. And this needs to go over here. See that? So you can make sure these curves fit together. It's another graphic way for you to verify that where you're putting things is the correct orientation. Lila?
So when it says we should have curves projected on it, you literally just draw squiggles over it.
You can draw squiggles. Knowing that you're going to 3D model this, laser cut it, you could even do cutouts. You could project circles and trim them, something like that. Yeah? Okay, so it's 9:07. What time does this class go to? Jonathan. It doesn't say? So we still have 7 minutes.
So when you go and print it, do you put it into AutoCAD and print from there?
Yes, guys, time out. Don't pack up yet. Always print from AutoCAD. Don't print from Rhino. So bring it in. So how would I print this? Still recording here. So what I want to do is take these drawings, go File, Export Selected. Right, I want to bring it into I want to export it as a DWG. Okay? All right, then I'm going to open AutoCAD and bring it in, put it on my title block, and print that. Those are the drawings I want to do. Okay? So everyone, try to get caught up with the drawings that were due today, page 1, and do these page 2 drawings for Wednesday. Wednesday, I'm going to spend the time showing you how to